What's up, Arthieros? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another ammo check. And this one was supposed to be Saturday night, but I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. Um, I I didn't know what to expect from this match. I didn't know what to expect with our form, with the fact that Spuds had a new manager. Um, yeah, I didn't think we'd lose, but I'm not gonna lie. Going into the match, nerves, because the North London Derby is different, man. As I said in the preview, it's a match that doesn't matter how you are doing in the league, how you're doing in the Champions League, how you're doing in the cups. When North London Derby rolls around, form goes out the window. So I thought that maybe I'll wait till after the match. Um, maybe I have a good feeling. Maybe I'm not. But yeah, we won, and we didn't just win by the quick, by the skin of our teeth, or by a toenail. We dominated them. And that's what I asked for. Not, me, Donna Dopamine. I don't want to get too bent out of shape. I don't want it to go, left field. Yes, we won this match, but we're still in a position to where it's not comfortable. We still have to go play Chelsea. We still have to go to the Etihad. So it's not a case of me being over the top and saying, oh, we're going to win everything. But for right now, for this moment, we smashed them. And it was that man, Eber Eze, again, with a brace. Eze Gyokeres, they would call him the Norwegian Lukaku. He got 2 goals, and yeah, man, I'm gassed. I'm gassed that we won 4-1. Let me go through the stats just to show you how dominant we were. I pulled it up earlier. But yeah, man, I just think that it was an opportunity for us to kind of say we're here. And we said we was here. So shots, Tottenham had 6. We had 20. We had 6 on target. They had 5 on target. And as far as possession, it was 60-40 to us. And it's funny that 20 shots and 6 on target, I think I can name about 5 that came from Leandro Trossard. That's the one thing that I will say. Sometimes our shots are just, they're just errant, man. Like Rose Ed. But to have 6 shots on target, score 4 goals, and to put them to the sword, man, it felt great. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling good tonight. But as I said, I can't let that just overwhelm me and start talking about quads and stuff. Nah. We got to be honest that this match shouldn't have mattered. This match shouldn't have been as nervy as it was. We should have been out of sight, and this match probably should have been the cherry on the cake. I just imagine if we had actually won the matches that we've drawn, that we were leading, we'd probably have, St. Tartan's Day early. So, yeah, it's just an opportunity. But I don't want to be one to be negative on such a positive day. It's a positive day. And like Stoney saying in the chat, I can't lie, it felt good to see them dominate. It did. It felt good to see us on the front foot. And one thing that I will say, when we got that first goal and then they equalized right after, in the group chat, I was saying, like, it felt a lot like Wenger's latter years, like when we would score and they would score directly after. And then we scored another, and it was 2-1. And when it went 2-1, this is where I think that a lot of fans were nervous, because we've seen this before. We've seen us, go. We go ahead, they equalize, we go ahead again, and then we try to set up shot. We just try to shut everything down and play this U-shaped football and hope for the best. And I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous at 2-1, but we didn't. We stayed on top of them. And in my mind, I know that we can do that. Will we have a bozo moment? Of course. I think every team has a bozo moment. And I think that, I don't think our bozo moments come from lack of talent. I think our bozo moments come from being exhausted, man. Timber looks like he's running in quicksand, man. Like, this probably, for Timber to have been, and if you would have asked me last month who our most consistent player was, Timber without a doubt. He's going to give you 6, 7 out of 10 performances, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 performances every match. The last couple, he looked slow, but today, he looked like he was Bambi on ice, man. I won't even lie to you. He looked like he was skating. And is he that, I want to say, is he that bad? But is he what he's been showing us? I don't think so. I think that's fatigue. And I know, like, being an athlete myself, when you're tired, you make mistakes. You make mistakes that you would never make when you're fit, when you're, in shape. You would never make those mistakes. Just how you move your feet, how you turn your body. When you're tired, you try to overcompensate. You're like, man, I'm gassed. Maybe if I try to do this. But because you're a step too slow, you get dominated. Like, you look like you're running in treacle. So for Timber, yeah, he looked like he's running quicksand a little bit. But yeah, I think it's time for him to get a rest. I'm pretty sure he picked up a yellow card, which means that he'll probably be rested anyway, if I'm not mistaken, or suspended because he's got 5 yellow cards. And then you kind of look at, Zubamendi's kind of the same in my opinion. Zubamendi looks exhausted. Rice looks exhausted. And what do you do? And this is what I kind of want to talk about. What do we do in the next match? Chelsea. Chelsea's a big match. Who we have after Chelsea? Because I want to talk about what I think we'll do. What I think we should do. What I think Mikel Arteta will do, to be honest. So, let's see. This new app is also frustrating, bro. So we got Chelsea, then we have Brighton away, Mansfield away, and then Everton at home. So we don't play Chelsea until the 1st, which gives us, what, about a week? I think that is. I think that's like one of the few week games we have. So we don't play Chelsea to the 1st. What do you do? Because you've got Chelsea on the 1st, you've got Brighton on the 4th, and then you've got Mansfield Town. Now, a lot of fans, including myself, will probably say, go strong against Chelsea. Go strong against Chelsea. Let's see if we can get a win and see if City drop points. And I would agree with you, but I think certain players need to be rotated, man. I honestly think certain players need to be rotated. We're not going to have, looks like we're not going to have Timber. I think Zubamendi needs a rest. Can we play Norgard? Can we play Norgard at home versus Chelsea? Can we play Norgard away at Brighton? The guy came from Brentford. He's not a scrub. He's played in the Prem before. But and this is that Mansfield game, I definitely want to rotate. We should definitely rotate. But will Mikel look at it and say, all right, you've got a week rest. I'll rest the guys. I'll play them all against Chelsea. I'll rotate them early if we're winning. Play a half-rotated team against Brighton, and then just rotate the whole team against Mansfield. Because after Mansfield, we got Everton. Everton aren't that great, but I think they're safe now. I think they're out of that relegation, area. But still, they'll be wanting to get something. It's very tricky. And then you have to remember that at some point, the Champions League comes back. So, yeah, those midweek games will come back. And what do you prioritize? And that's one of the things that we always have conversations about What are you prioritizing? Is Mikel Arteta going to prioritize the league? Is he going to prioritize the Champions League? Is he going to prioritize the FA Cup? Winning the domestics or whatnot. In my opinion, I want the league. I think the Champions League is such a hard competition to win. I think for you to win the Champions League, you need skill, but you also need a little bit of luck. You need the draw to go in your favor. Because we finished high in the group, we're gonna get the second leg at home, which is great. But you still need a little bit of luck. It just takes one switch off, one moment, and we saw it. We saw it last season against PSG. One switch off against PSG, and it cost us a spot in the final. Essentially, if we had kind of scored first at home and maybe got out of there, with a 1-0 and went to Paris, I think we could have won. But going down a goal at home and shutting up shop and then hoping you can win away from home, never a good recipe. And like I said, because it's a competition that we've never won, I'd like to win it. I'd like the focus to be on winning the Champions League. But right now, I think a lot of Arsenal fans, we want the league. It's been 20 plus years. The Invincibles was the last time we won the league. And if you think about it, if you think about that period of time, so 2003, 2004, 22 years? Like, you've got people who were, 10 years old having children. You've got people who were born who are now adults who've never seen Arsenal win the league. For me and for a lot of Arsenal fans, I think that has to be the priority, man. What you don't want to end up, and a lot of people forget this, you don't want to end up like Liverpool, man. Liverpool were dominant in the 80s, and then they had this period of, 25 years plus where they didn't win. The difference is Liverpool, even though they didn't win the domestic league, you can always count on them to be good in Europe. They won the Champions League a few times, and you can always count on them to be good in Europe. Arsenal, we're not so good in Europe, so if you're not winning the league, our best bet is not even the Carabao. The Carabao Cup we haven't won since '93, so our best bet is the FA Cup. And I think a lot of fans are just like, this league is so winnable. You look at kind of, we were having a discussion in a group stage, not in a group stage, in a group chat, that we should be out of sight. Because if you look at the teams in the Prem, yes, the Prem is the best league in the world, and you've got so many good teams. You look at all of the European competitions, and most of the Prem teams are near the top. The Conference League near the top, the Europa League near the top, the Champions League, all of the English teams are, near the top 8. But when you look at the squads, when you look at the quality in between the teams, there's I wouldn't say there's a gulf in quality, but there's a hierarchy that you can see. Like, when you look at total squads, and I'm talking about first 11 and depth, and just the ability to rotate, you've got Arsenal, you've got City, and then you've got the others. Like, Liverpool, you could say, but Liverpool have kind of fallen off. Like, I don't know what's going on with Liverpool. But I would stretch and put Liverpool in there if we're talking about first 11 and kind of depth, because they got some dudes they can bring off the bench as well. But then you look at the rest of the teams. Like, Man United, great 11. I wouldn't say their bench is great. Chelsea, I don't know what's going on with Chelsea. Chelsea are just all over the joint. Villa, as you can see, their 11 is good. They don't really have a bench. Those are the teams that are chasing us. Spuds, they 16th, so their squad ain't that great either. Of the top 6, it's the two. United have a decent 11, but who are they bringing off the bench? When you look at the rotation, when you look at who you can take off, you looking at our bench today, and I want to pull up the graphic, right? Because I looked at it today, right? So our starting 11 is Raya Timber, Saliba Gabriel, Nkapia, Rice, Zubamendi, Eze, Saka, Trossard, and Gyokeres. Right, solid team. On the bench, you got Kepa, who was starting for Chelsea once upon a time. You've got Mascara, okay. You've got Odegaard, who a couple seasons ago was one of the best players in the Prem. You got Gabriel Jesus, one with Manchester City. You got Martinelli, who 3 years ago, Klopp was calling generational. He's falling off a cliff. You've got Norgard, captain of Brentford. You've got Madueke, who's also starting for Chelsea. You got Calafiori from Italy. And then you got Lewis Skelly, who was basically made the England squad. Like, that's your bench. That's not to also count the guys that are injured. You've got, Wanyeri on loan. You've got Havertz, who's injured. You've got Marino, who was starting for Spain. You've got who else is left? Wanyeri, Marino, Havertz. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. But yeah, you've got those dudes who aren't around, who could step into the squad and win. Like, step into most squads in the Prem as well. So when it comes to our depth, man, like for us, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, and then you look at City, and they've got, they're bringing Marmoush off the bench. They're bringing that young kid, Nico O'Reilly, off the bench. Like, they're bringing some, at one point they were bringing Foden off the bench. So you look at those two squads, and then you look at everybody else. Who's United bringing off the bench? Like, Aiden Heaven. Like, Chelsea got like 47 kids they can bring off the bench, but you don't know many of them. Spuds are spuds. So Liverpool, yeah, you got guys like Chiesa who can go off the bench. You do have some guys, some hitters at Liverpool. But when you look at the squad as a whole, there's a gulf. And my biggest problem now is we've got this squad, and everybody's saying it's one of the best squads in the league. Everybody's saying it's one of the best squads in Europe. We finished top of the Champions League. So why aren't we winning domestically, man? Like, why aren't we clear? Like, what's the excuse? And, we face so many injuries. I think it's 116 now. Big up, Cooper. How's it going? It's 116 now injuries that we've had over the last couple years. But even with those injuries, we should still be rotating. Like, if we had rotated in some, and I honestly believe this, we had rotated in some of the games that we drew, I think we win those games. I think our manager's reluctance at times to rotate, and then you saw it even tonight. Tonight, I think the first two subs came in the 65th minute, I want to say. But then Saka had to basically go down to get rotated. And this is everybody who's watching can see Timber's gas. And granted, Ben White isn't there. Why don't you bring Mascara on? Put him at right back. Or put him at center back and move maybe Nkapia over there. Put him, I don't know. Like, we have 4 defenders. And you don't have to have, you're up 3-1. You don't have to have the perfect defense. I think Mascara is good enough to run as a fullback. Bring Timber off. Let him, we can all see the Zubimendi is gassed. He's running in quicksand. Take him off. Put Norgard in there. And tell Norgard, listen, your job is to protect the back 4. Don't let anything get through you. Tottenham ain't been doing anything anyway, because we got most of the possession. And just shore up, let's see it out. Like, why don't we do that? My thing is, our manager tries to see it out with gas players. Like, he tries to hold on to a lead with guys who've been running and running and running and running. And then they get tired and we concede. That goal that we conceded, I think part of it's a fatigue. Like, part of the goal that we conceded, not this match, but last match, with Gabriel and Ryan. I think it's part fatigue, man. You just gas. You're trying to just make sure you don't make any more mistakes. And I think sometimes you just need someone to calm everything down. You need someone to calm everything down. But that's just kind of my gripes. But we won, and that's a good thing. We won against Tottenham, and I'm glad. First off, living in England, I come across so many fans, and I thought, like, seeing fans like Tobes and expressions, having chest. I thought that was just because they was on YouTube. Nah, man. Tottenham fans talk the loudest, not being that big a club. And you kind of get to the point where it's like, bro, how can you have this much chest? And then they won the Europa League last year, and you just kind of like, they're unbearable. They're unbearable. But they're near relegation, so I'm not even that bothered this year. But as an Arsenal fan who now lives in the UK, I can't escape the banter, bro. I can't escape the banter. So tomorrow I'm gonna go to work with my jersey and my chest out, and I'm gonna be glad. I'm gonna be glad that we won. I'm gonna be glad that we dominated. And I'm gonna be glad that kind of we got some of the pressure off. I think that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest kind of what do you say? The biggest negatives that people say about our club and our team is that we're weak mentally. We're weak mentally. You don't have, I go back to Troy Deeney when he said they don't have the cojones. Like, in these moments, and today, it could have been so easy to crumble. It could have been so easy to cave to the pressure. And they stood up. Now, I also don't want to overplay the fact that Tottenham aren't good, bro. It's not like they're the Pochettino's Tottenham, where they're competing in Europe or they're going, for the top 4. Like, they're not that great. And if it weren't for the fact that Nottingham Forest are so terrible, Burnley are so terrible, Wolves are so terrible, West Ham are so terrible, I think Tottenham would firmly be in the relegation zone. So let's not act like Tottenham are a good side. They're hit with injuries as well, but they are they're a directionless club. If you're if I'm being objective and I'm taking the bias out of it, they're a directionless club. And they're kind of in that spot that Man United looked like they were in. Like, management, the fans aren't happy with management and they don't have a manager, but I think they're worse than what Man United were. I mean, it looks like Daniel Levy is kind of left, and when you have an owner like Daniel Levy who had his hand in literally everything, like when I think about Daniel Levy, I think about Jerry Jones. I feel like he had his hand in absolutely everything from the finances to player signings. I think he just had his hands in every pot. So now that he's gone, it looks like they're kind of just shoved. They don't know which way to go. They've hired a couple managers that haven't worked out. And their recruitment hasn't been that great. I mean, yeah, they brought in Conor Gallagher, underwhelming. Like, their direction, they don't know what their manager is gonna look like. Their owner has left, and basically they're working with the shell of a team because they've got a lot of injuries. That Dragusin guy, though, he's terrible. He's terrible. Romero, he's a hothead. He's always suspended. Like, that squad, I would not want that squad. So yeah, they got that Europa League, but that might, seeing that Tottenham today, that might be the last trophy they win in a long time. In years, because they look like they don't know which way is up. And long may it continue, because I'm an Arsenal fan, and I hope that it happens. I hope that it keeps happening. As far as us, as far as what I think, it's so cliche, but I gotta say, we gotta keep it one game at a time. It's gotta be one game at a time. And it's tough because I want so badly. I've been here 7 years. I've never seen a trophy parade. I actually got the week after the last match off. And I'm probably going to take the next day after the Champions League match off as well. I don't think we'll win the Champions League, but just in case, I'm going to take that off. But yeah, we've gotten to the point where I want to believe, man. I want to believe that we can win the title. And every time I allow myself to believe, every time I allow myself to get swept up in the dopamine, to get swept up in and us collecting points, there's always a period that brings me down to earth. And, for the last, I want to say for the last couple years. So when 22-23, man, if you had told me in 22-23 that we'd be competing for the league, I'd say no chance. And we did. So I didn't expect that. 23-24, though, we should have won. The way we came out swinging, I said, this is it. This is it. We fell short last season, but this is it. And then we fell short again. And I kept believing. I do the tour. I go buy the merch. I'm so excited. And it just gets to a point. Like, it got to a point where we lost this, we threw away an 8-point lead. And I'm like, man, that's 2 years in a row. That sucks. And then last season happened. And Liverpool were terrible. And City were terrible. United were terrible. Tottenham were in 17. I said, this is our chance. Everyone's trash. Like, everyone's inconsistent. They can't put any wins together. This is it. Liverpool just got a new manager. Klopp's gone. Man City looked fatigued. They lost KDB. They're without Rodri. Like, this is our opportunity. And we squandered it. 14 draws. 10 from winning positions. And then I sit there this year. And now, it's not that I don't believe, but you're numb to it, man. 3 years in a row. And I think about, and I always go back to American football. Is this how Bills fans felt? Is this how Buffalo Bills fans felt 4 years in a row going to the Super Bowl and not winning? And to this day, they haven't won a Super Bowl, right? Anybody knows me, I'm in American football. But they were quarterbacked by a guy, big up Godfrey, what's up? They were quarterbacked by a guy called Jim Kelly. And Jim Kelly was such a good quarterback, they named, the K-Gun. It was electric. It was great to watch. But he couldn't win. And I feel like that's how Arsenal were in the beginning. It was so great to watch. But we didn't win. But now we've reached a point where we ain't great to watch. We're not great to watch. So I feel like because we aren't great to watch, we have to win something. Like, I can't sit here and endure. And I'm taking this one. This is the ammo check. So this is not just, a match reaction. This is just my overall thoughts on Arsenal. You get to a point where it becomes hard to enjoy watching. And I don't want to, I've gotten to that point with the Dolphins. It got to the point with the Miami Dolphins that I would turn on the TV, I'd see Tua getting sacked, I'd see people dropping passes, and you're just kind of like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this anymore. It's so tough to stomach. And that's what I don't want for Arsenal. And, there's the debate. Because, I came on in the latter years of Wenger, where you had beautiful football, volatile football, but you only won the FA Cup, and you let in, Mustafi. I don't want to go back to Mustafi and Luiz, Koscielny and the BFG. I don't want that. I don't want that feeling that we had earlier today, where you've scored a goal. I do not kid you guys. I don't kid you. I'm celebrating the goal. I'm still gassed. I go to get a drink, and Tottenham have scored. And I said, wow, this felt a lot like Wenger, bro. Felt a lot like Wenger when we used to score a beautiful goal. You see Alexis Sanchez! And then on the other end, Mustafi, oh, crap. We've just let in a goal, an equalizer. But at least it was back and forth. Now, when we concede a goal first, you kind of got it in the back of your mind, can we actually get down the pitch and score a goal? That's what you're thinking. And I don't want it to get I don't want to get to the point where I'm watching Arsenal because it's Arsenal. I'm not watching because I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at the comments. Oh, it seems that AJ is popped in. What's up, AJ? Thank you for the shout out. Godfrey says Arsenal reaching that territory. Can't lie. It's tough. It's tough. It is tough. Anyone knows what happened to Ben White? So I heard that it was a niggle. And this niggle thing, bro. This niggle, like this injury, I need to know what it is. What is the definition of a niggle? Because I swear our players pick up more niggles than anything else in the world. Like you're so excited to see a guy and it's like, oh, he's picked up a knock and a niggle. Like, oh man. It's tough. It's tough with the niggles. But I hope that the Ben White thing was just precaution. I'd like to see him instead of Timber, and I think we will because I think Timber's suspended. AJ corrected me. We are at 121 different injuries. I said 115. Jeez. AJ says, I don't care. You could win the quad, sack him over the injuries. I'm going to speak on that. I'm going to speak on the injuries. And big up Jasmine. Arsenal's dance got more beautiful in every game. Stay fit, bros. Love your dance more. Yeah, we used to be beautiful. I want to talk about the injuries because I had to think about this, and I think that injuries, and I sat down and I think about it. I think that injuries, I feel like the game has become more analytic instead of how people feel about a situation, right? So I think with injuries, people are just kind of like, he's got a hamstring injury. How long will it take? 3 weeks if you're good, 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks. And I think what we're doing is just taking the 3 weeks and that's it. Excuse me. At 3 weeks, he's good. Like, that's what it feels like. And I think that, like I said, and I said this in it was either in the Waffle House or one of my previous ammo checks. Arteta is under pressure. But he's not the only one. The club is under pressure. The owners want to win, right? Maybe not Stan, but it looks like Josh wants to win. Josh has come out, he's done everything. The sporting director wasn't great. Cool, I got you a new one. Your training ground needs upgrading. I've done it. The tunnel, the dressing room needs upgrading. I've done it. He's giving you everything you need, right? So I don't think that people are as safe as they make themselves seem. I don't think that their job is as safe as they make themselves seem. So with Mikel, he has to know it. He can sit in a press conference and say, "Oh, guys, like follow me and love the club," but that sounds like a man who knows he's on the hot seat. That sounds like a man who knows his job is on the line. Like he could lose. And Ben White has come out. Is it Ben White or Declan Rice? Declan Rice has come out and said that he has control. He has total control. So if I have total control, you've given me everything. You have the opportunity. I say North London forever. I say when we train, I say, how we do things. And I don't deliver you anything in 5 years, you have to know that seat is hot. It's scalding hot. So when it comes to injuries, I think part of that is you're asking the medical team, how long will this injury take? Oh, well, it's 4 to 6 weeks. I need it to be a little bit on the 4. I need to be a little bit closer to the 4. All right, we'll say 5. Whereas if Arteta had won, if Arteta was like Pep, I think if Arteta was like Pep and we'd won a couple, let's say we split the trophies. So, we won in 22-23. We didn't win. We won last year. So, Man City got one, or in the time, Liverpool won one, let's say, right? So, we won 2, Man City won 1, Liverpool won 1, right? I think having 2 Prems or win the Champions League, I think you kind of sit there as Mikel Arteta with these injuries and you say, Oh, it's 4 to 6 weeks. It's all right. Let him stay 6. You sure 6? Hey, how you feeling? It's still kind of sore, boss. Take another week. But I think because the pressure is on, I feel like and I'm not saying he's pushing the players back, but if the medical team are telling you he'll be good after 4 weeks, I think he's saying that's good. He's not thinking about like, yeah, this guy's saying he's good, but is he, 100% good? So I think part of that pressure and part of that wanting to win, wanting to prove is part of the reason why we keep injuring players. Because you can tell, bro, Saka's not fit. Timber's not fit. Zubamendi's gas. Rice is gas. And you've got Norgard on the bench. He's fit. Madueke, he's fit. Ben White, he was fit up until tonight. You have these guys sitting on the bench. And it's like, you got to trust them. This is your squad. This is the squad you asked for. So AJ's on one. We're at 121 different injuries. Yep. Even if he wins the quad, he only has 5 trophies from a possible 26. And that's the argument that I make when people say, oh, he's doing such a great job. Managers are measured by trophies. As good as Pochettino did with Spuds, and he got him to the Champions League final, guess what? He ain't win nothing. But you know who did win something? Big Ange. So they will remember Big Ange. A lot of those children who are going to matches, Spuds matches, a lot of those young people going to Spuds match, they're not going to remember Pochettino getting close. But they're going to remember the day out with Big Ange. So sitting there and saying, oh, he's doing this great thing and he's doing an amazing time, but you got no trophies to show for it. So there'll be kids who think about it. Even in the last 10 years, if I'm 10 and I started, when I started supporting in 2016, if I was 10 years old, I'm 20 now. And all I've seen is the FA Cup. 2 FA Cups, maybe. And some community shields. It's not good enough. I don't think you can call yourself, a great manager winning 3 trophies in 7 years when you have a possibility to win 4 trophies every year. At least 3 trophies every year. Because when he wasn't in Europe, you still got the FA, you still got the Carabao. We didn't win any of those. And then I think this is my issue with Arteta as well. If we had finished, when we finished 5th, right? If he had finished 8th, but we won the FA Cup, which we did, we gave him another year. If he had finished 5th, but we won the Carabao Cup, we see something. If we finished 2nd, but we won the FA Cup again, okay, this guy's a winner. Or in the times we finished 8th, if we won Europa League, dang, we ain't doing too hot in the league, but we won the Europa League. We're in the Champions League. He could have made the process a whole lot faster if he had won the Europa League. You get an automatic bid in the Champions League. You could have gotten better players. Where AJ Renee Slegers in 16 months has won 2 major trophies. She's done more than Arteta in 6.5 years. Yes, I hear that. I will caveat that with saying that the women's league has less teams. But your point still remains that Slegers did go in there with. She was beaten. She beat what? Did she beat Barcelona or Lyon or I think or is Barcelona, Lyon, or Real Madrid? One of the best women's teams in Europe. She won with them. So yeah. I think on the equal level, I think Renee Slegers has done a phenomenal job. But her league form isn't that great either. If we're being honest, the league form isn't that great. I think they're 3rd or 4th now. But even then, she's winning something, and she's winning the big things. So I think if she wins the Champions League this year, then she'll get more opportunity and more money and more backing because she's done it in Europe. All she had to do is go to the board and say, boss, I've won you 2 Champions Leagues. I need better players. We can win the league. We're a cup team right now, but I need you to turn us into a league team. Well, where do you come to that conclusion? Here are my trophies. We can win, but I want to win the league, right? And that's what I'm saying with Arteta. If he had come and said, we can win the Europa, we've won the FA, boss, I'm winning these trophies. We don't have a squad good enough to compete in the league. Get me, I don't know, Leao. Get me, Rodrigo. Get me somebody big. Thanks for the 9 likes. Appreciate it. Get me somebody big and bring them to the club. But we don't have that. And the fact that he's talking like he's won the league or he's won the Europa League, that's what makes people kind of turned off to Arteta. Because he's talking like he's won Pep's trophy cabinet, but he's won like Sam Allardyce. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah. AJ says he factually pushed an injured Thomas Partey back on the pitch against. My biggest issue with Arteta last year when it comes to Thomas Partey is he played him at right back. And I think he played 9 games at right back. We only won the first game and the last game. So if after 4 games, I just couldn't get over the fact that you put your best midfielder at the time at right back. Do we not have any right backs in the under 21s? Do we not have, any even center backs that might be able to play right back? Like, your best midfielder, the guy who's protecting your defense, you put him at right back. And he kept doing it. And those are the matches that cost us the Prem. So, yeah, man. Nah. Godfrey says, Sledgers go back-to-back in the UCL, AJ. Yeah, they look good. Godfrey says, talking about the likes of Leao Rodrigo, we seriously need an upgrade on left winger. I'm going to talk about that now. But let me go through the comments. So, Godfrey buy both, then sell Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli. Okay, so let's talk about left wing. Because I made it a thing to watch left wing today. And I've come to the consensus, and I think a lot of fans have come to the consensus. Neither Leandro Trossard or Gabriel Martinelli can play 90 minutes in the Prem. They might be able to play him in the Cups. They might be able to play him in Europe. But in the Premier League, Martinelli or Leandro Trossard cannot play 90 minutes. You can't play them 90 minutes. Trossard, and the problem that we have with the left wing is both of them are great off the bench. Both of them great off the bench. If I need a goal, if I need a spark, Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard off the bench in the 65th minute, yes. Starting the match, neither one of them are good. And the problem is, Nani Madueke is not much better. Eze is not a left winger, as we saw today. He's great when he's playing in the middle of the park. So essentially, we don't have a left winger who can go the full 90 minutes without looking like he's either running in quicksand or running the ball out of play. However, with the kind of, with who we have, with the kind of left wing by committee, then we can still pick up points. They can still make it. But the one thing, whether Mikel is here or he's not, I don't want to see another defender. I don't want to see another right winger. I don't want to see another goalkeeper. I want to see, left wing should be the first and the last signings. of the window. I need a winger. Right wing is fine. Madueke is, if we could get him to actually scoring, he's a fine deputy from Kawasaka. But our left wing, boy, it's awful. It's awful. Godfrey took Partey to get injured for Arteta to start using the senses. And that's the problem, Godfrey. That's the problem. You see that it takes Saka being injured for Mikel to try something new. It takes Zubimendi being injured to get him to try something new. You know, it takes something bad to happen for a reaction to come. That's my issue. We're never proactive. He's not proactive in making sure that we don't get these injuries. We don't get these players out of form. We just wait till they fall and then we replace them. And it's like a rotate. You know, Timber gets injured, Ben White comes in. Flog. Ben White's injured. Oh, Timber's back. Like, it's that. Instead of saying, let me rotate. And that's one thing that Pep has actually improved since he's been at Man City. Because we used to say the same thing about Pep. Funny enough, we said it about Pep when this guy was working for him. And it's like, sometimes in my mind, it's like he learned from Pep and then he left before he could get the full picture. So he's got half the picture and he's just stuck at that half. He hasn't been able to go past that what he's seen with Pep. So, yeah, it's just, but that's what you get when you get a novice and you get someone who hasn't actually been exposed to anything else. Josh Nicholas was right there all last season. Yeah, they were quite. I mean, even if you know, Aiden Heaven, could you not have maybe turned him into a fullback instead of selling him, you know, letting him go to Man United? I mean, granted, they gave him a lot of money, so that's probably what that was about. But, you know, there's got to be, how many youth players have come through? Under this manager, how many youth players have come through? Dauman, MLS, and Wanyeri is all I can think of over the top of my head from the academy in 7 years. Saka came through under Emery, and Martinelli was young, but he's not an academy guy. I can't think of any other players that we've in 7 years that we've gotten from the academy. But you look at City, that Manchester boy, Nico O'Reilly, scoring a brace. AJ said, yes, Renee Schlegel's league form has not been good enough. So because the league is no longer winnable, she goes after the cuts because trophy is all she cares about. And that's a point. You know, I think one thing I would use to defend Renee Schlegel, she has not had a fit squad all season, and she picked up the first ever women's FIFA club championship. I don't watch the women's, but I have a mate who has young daughters, and he tells me about it. One, because I don't think I could watch much more football than I watch. My wife would evict me. But, you know, I try to keep tabs on it. And you're right, AJ, you're right. But that's the thing. She realized that she could not win the league. And she said, I'm not going to keep flogging the players to come finish second. Because guess what? Whether you finish second or fourth, you still ain't win nothing. You didn't win the league. But if I win the Champions League, then I get in the Champions League the next year. Plus, I have a trophy. If I win the FA Cup, I might get another competition. Plus, I have a trophy. Our manager doesn't think that way. Our manager is ego-driven. So, instead of saying we didn't win the league, we ain't win. Like last year, we ain't winning the league. We knew we weren't winning the league. I knew in January we weren't winning the league. Focus on something else. Why are we going out of the FA Cup to the worst Man United team I've seen in 10 years? Why are we going to a semifinal of the League Cup and not scoring a single goal against Newcastle, home or away? What's the excuse? There is none. Godfrey says Pep's man management is excellent. Look at O'Reilly balling in the midfield now. That should be Skelly as well, getting minutes in midfield from time to time. He won't do it. He won't do it. If it weren't for a Calafiore injury, we might have seen what MLS gives us in the midfield. Because he got injured, because the wild horse, the sweet prince, got injured, back to left back you go. I don't think we'll see it, man. I don't think we'll ever see Miles Lewis Skelly at left back. I mean, not at left back, at midfield. The manager just doesn't rate him there, bro. But I can think of a few moments in Lewis Skelly's kind of short career at this point. And the moments are when he was going forward in that inverted role, playing that midfield role, running past dudes, shirking dudes off, making beautiful passes, getting shots off. But no, we'll stick him at left back. Because I can't have Lewis Skelly doing better than Zubamendi. I can't have Ethan Wanyeri doing better than my captain. League was gone last January. We should have gone all in for the domestic. Exactly. If we weren't winning the league, just concede and say, all right, I'm not going to win the league. We're not going to get close. We just don't have the form. We don't have the bodies to go for it. Go for the domestic double. Go for the Champions. I think he started to put his eggs in the Champions League basket as well. But that home, I was at that PSG performance, bro, and I've been fuming after Arsenal performance. Never like that. I was fuming. I think the only other one that I was fuming as bad was Man United won that this year. Bro, my head was hot. And you know how England is cold and it's rainy. I'm steaming. I'm coming out this instant steam, bro. Because I'm fuming. And that PSG match was disgraceful. Calafiore has already been more injured than Kieran Tierney entire. Our club's all about narratives. It's all about PR narratives. They painted Kieran Tierney to be out this guy who was super injured. He's never now. If you look at Tomiyasu, I'm with you. I'm with Tomiyasu. He had about, and I'm exaggerating, but I'd probably say he had about 10 great games, Tomiyasu, and then he spent more time on the sideline than me. So nah. And one thing, and this is the thing that let me know that Mikel was never going to change his system. He was never going to try anything different. If Kieran Tierney was fit that last season, and you say to Kieran Tierney, listen, Kieran, you're not an inverting left back, but would you mind being on the bench? We'll pay you, reduced wage. I think we can win the title. We'll give you a 2-year contract, and then you can go back to Celtic. Because what I would have done is, you already know he's going to ship off Spinchenko. So you put him there, and then you get Calafiore, and you say, Calafiore, you're my inverting left back. If things don't go right, if things don't go right, guess what? You can step in there, Kieran. And it should be the same thing on the other side. Timber, you're my starting right back. If things don't go right and we go back to a traditional system, then Ben White, you and Tierney, you guys are the fullbacks. But we don't do that. Because our manager does like for likes, and he hasn't shown that he can adapt his system. The comments are flying because AJ and Godfrey are talking. Let me catch up. Look at MLS run against Atletico Madrid. That proves he should be our left 8. I'd like to see more of, like, if we're going into the midfield against teams that are playing the low block, I'd like to see, maybe Eze and Odegaard. Odegaard likes to go right. He loves soccer. Eze likes to go left. Why don't you put those two in there as the 8s? Put Declan Rice behind them. Put Zubimeni to the bench and say, go at him. Go at him. Score a couple goals. And then when you get, your 3-1, all right, I'll take out Eze. Zubimeni, you go in there. You and Declan Rice, set up shop. Hold it down. Why we can't do that? Our best midfield is Rice, MLS, and Eze. I think Zubimeni is good. I just don't think that... I think Zubimeni is good. I just don't think he's playing in the right position. In my opinion, Declan Rice is a 6 for me. Right? He's not an 8. I don't think he has as much creativity as it does. But I think the thing that Declan Rice is great at is running, stealing the ball, passing it to the creator, and helping us stay defensively in shape. He's a 6. Zubimeni, not a 6 for me. He's an 8. He's an 8 for me. Because Zubimeni, to me, in the Prem, he's lightweight. How many times have we watched Zubimeni get bullied? Versus how many times have we watched Rice get bullied? I bet you if you put it down, Rice has a lot less than Zubimeni. But yet, we put Zubimeni in the 6 and we put Rice in the 8. Or the box to box. Why? Why? Doesn't make sense to me. I would trade Calafiore for Anthony Robinson in a heartbeat. I just want a real left back. I'm tired of this inversion crap, man. I just want a real left back. Underlapping and overlapping. Let's see some. I don't want to see this inversion anymore, bro. I'm tired of it. Speaking of Zinchenko, got an ACL first game out. Yeah, it's tough. Zinchenko's career, I think, is coming to a close if it's not over. If it's not over, I think that he's gonna play. He might play for Ajax. He might play for one of those smaller teams that you haven't heard of, like the Bodo Glimps and such. But I think his career is done. I mean, that Nottingham Forest loan for them to be battling relegation and not want anything to do with you, yeah, it's not a good look for Zinchenko. So, yeah. AJ said trade Odegaard for Elliot Anderson as well. At this point, man, I think I trade Odegaard for anybody. I think there's certain players in the squad that I think just need to move on to pastures new. Odegaard is one of them. I would like to see the back of Havertz as well. I think he's been good, but I think we need to stop holding on to these players who are taking up massive wages and not contributing much. I would think about maybe next year selling Marino as well. And I like Marino, and I've started to like Havertz. But if we want to be a truly elite team, we can't just keep holding on to players for sentiment. Martinelli, Trossard, see ya. As much as I like Ben White as well, upgrade on him as well. If you want to take that next step, you have to upgrade positions. You can't just keep, saying that this is great, this makes us feel good. And one of the things that I worry about with this squad is that we're gonna win a trophy. We're gonna win, we win the league or we win the Champions League, and instead of adding, doing that, getting rid of the two, getting two new wingers in, getting rid of some of the backups and getting new people in. We sit there and we say we just won the league. We'll just add it. We'll add a few. We'll maybe let Trossard go and keep Martinelli. No. No. Upgrade everything. Even if we win. Man City did it. Liverpool did it. Liverpool won the league. And you're like, oh man, they're great. And guess what? They got Isak. They got Ekitike. They got Verts. Has it been working? No. But I think that's partly because of Slot. I think that's Slot system. I think if they had gotten those players on the clock, I think Liverpool would be in the title race. But, yeah, it's, Man City do it all the time. They got rid of KDB. They got someone else in. They got rid of Jesus to us. They got in, Erling Haaland. And they'd won everything. But they keep improving. Keep getting better players. That's what we have to do. Not just sit there and say we won. And that's it. We only saw that once, Eze and Odegaard, but then Odegaard got injured. Yeah. And then now, I don't even think he's injured. I just think that the manager's trying to keep him out of the firing line because he's poor. We're never seeing that again. Rice ball winning is phenomenal. Yeah, it is. Rice has got an engine. And a fit Rice is a workhorse. But, man, you looking at Rice now, that guy is gassed. He is tired. He is super tired. Gooner Rican TV, huge congratulations on 380 subs. Yeah, I got 380 subs. Yes. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate it. That is 375 more subs than I thought I had. Or I thought I was supposed to have. So I appreciate it. Yeah, man, we just having chat. I like talking and with this community, with my community. I just want it to go naturally, man. I want it to, if only 30 people come in to hear me talk, that's good enough for me. That's 30 people I can have a chat with. 30 people, and I'm not above rival fans speaking to me. I'm not above, fans who disagree with me speaking to me. Because you never know. You might change my mind on something. One thing you will not change my mind on is our manager. I've seen enough. I'm a person who believe in, show me. Don't tell me. And our manager loves to talk. Show me. In 5 seasons, you haven't shown me anything. Except that you can finish second. Brendan Rodgers did the same. And then they got rid of him and got Klopp. Show me something. AJ, I just brought my Women's Champions League quarterfinal home ticket. It was £28. Then after booking, £33. Yeah, man, it's so easy to get to the women's game. My mate, with the daughters, he was like, he took his daughters and they sat in the nice bit, with the comfy seats, the club level, and yeah, he was like, it didn't cost him an arm, bro. I feel like the men's they bop you over the head, bro. They basically take your wallet out of your pocket, steal your pounds, and don't even leave you with what's left in the wallet. They take that too. I'm very fortunate that I got a friend who's a season ticket holder and he gives me mate rates. Or else I would never see Arsenal, bro. People spending thousands of pounds to go see Arsenal play Burnley. You know what I'm saying? Ain't good enough. Have a great day out, AJ. Gonna be a good game for Chelsea. That's between you guys. Close to 400 subs. Congratulations. Thank you, Godfrey. I appreciate it. Godfrey, I can't wait to see it. I want to make this clear. The next manager gets 2 years, then I judge him. If he has 0 trophies, from a possible 8, sack him as well. That's what big clubs do. That's what we should have done. But unfortunately, AJ, I've been, and like I said, I've only been here 10 years, but I've been here long enough to know that Arsenal are a feelings club. But we're not a feelings club like Liverpool. We're a feel-good club, support everything. It feels good. And we will turn on you when it's popular. Our fan base doesn't have the guts to say this isn't right. People only turned on Wenger when it became popular, when it became untenable. The whole Wenger. That's when people turned on Wenger. But the crazy thing is, Wenger not only went invincible, Wenger also kept this club afloat when we were paying for the stadium. People miss that. Oh, we didn't win in 10 years under Wenger either. Yes, because we were paying for a stadium. I know American managers. More than a lot of I know American managers. I mean owners. I know American owners. I got one. I watch American football. My owner is from New York. He's American as it can get. They do not spend money out of their own pocket unless they're getting something back. They don't. My manager, my owner, this man built an F1 track. He built a tennis court in our parking lot. Why did he do that? Because he knows that F1's coming, he getting money back. He built a roof on the stadium. Oh, he cares about. No, he doesn't. He can. You think he put a roof on the stadium because he cares about the fan? No. He want to be able to host the World Cup. He want to be able. It's hot in Florida. You can't have, the World Cup out there with that open stadium and people falling out. You can't put a roof on it. We got, what else we got? We got concerts. Oh, I want us to be a venue we can have concerts. Put a roof on it. Come on, man. These owners don't do anything out of the goodness of their hearts. You don't become a billionaire by being super benevolent. So when the Cronkies came in and and all these billionaires was talking about building a stadium, that ain't coming out their pocket. That came out the club funds. The Cronkies are able to put in money every year. They don't. The money we spend is club funds. So people act like, oh, Wenger went 10 years without a trophy. But he was making top 4 with bare bones, selling his best players, Van Persie, Fabregas. At one point, Alexis Sanchez with the swap deal. Like, he had to get rid of people to keep us afloat, and he was still making top 4. So comparing that man, that legend, to a guy who's gotten £1 billion in 7 years and won 1 trophy is disgraceful. Let's not do that. Let's be honest. Because I guarantee you, if you give Arsene Wenger £1 billion and the team we have now, we don't want a trophy. Guarantee you. Right now, at this moment. So let's not do that one. Every time I'm trying to get a ticket for the men's, even worldwide, I need to go to the Emirates at least once in my life. Godfrey, I'm fortunate, man. I'm fortunate that I moved from the U.S. and I found someone who allows me to go. And I'm grateful to them every day. I'm grateful that he's allowed me to go. I've been to 10 matches, and they ain't always been great. There have been some diabolical ones. But I will say, if you do get the opportunity to go to the Emirates, make the most of it, man. Make the most of it. Go see the hybrid facade. The match day experience. It's changing, bro. I wouldn't say it's life changing, but it's eye opening. It's a beautiful experience, and I've had the opportunity to do it. I've been to Sevilla Stadium. I've been to Atletico Madrid on the match day. I've seen Inter Miami because I don't live too far from there. So just when you have that experience to go watch the club you love, it's amazing, man. I hope you get there. I hope you get an opportunity to go see the Emirates because it's definitely worth going there. Godfrey says, Cronky out. They still ain't fooling me. I was the same, man, but like I said, I think that Josh, even though they're not giving money, I think Josh has more. Josh wants to show Stan that he can take his multi-billion-pound asset and make it into something great. Because that's how billionaires work as well. The children have to sometimes the children have to fight with the CEOs for who's going to take control of the company when the old man finally kicks the bucket. And if you're, or they're fighting among themselves. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but that's usually how it goes. You got 3 or 4 siblings, and they're trying to show each other who's the best to run the company. And yeah, I think that's what Josh is doing. So AJ says men's tickets are a nightmare to get. That's why I go to the ladies. Yeah, man, they are. I remember when I first started watching, it wasn't too hard. But now they got the balloting system. And as I said, Maria talks football. She always does like TikToks on whether or not she can get them or not. I just think that's crazy, bro. Like, I live an hour and a half from the stadium, and if I did the balloting system, I'd probably get to watch one match every 3 or 4 years. I've been on a season ticket waiting list for a decade, bro. Like, still no closer. I mean, I think half the stadium would have to give up their season ticket for me to actually get one. But maybe when I do get around, I have enough to buy the season ticket because they keep going up every year. They've gone up again, so. Every single owner can give 109 million pounds a season. When has Stan and Josh done that? They haven't, and they won't. Stan and Josh, right? Stan and Josh, their only concern. I think they like Arsenal, but I think they like Arsenal as kind of, how do I say? They like Arsenal as kind of a side thing, side project. This is my side thing. If it keeps growing, it helps give me money to go put into my other things. That's what I think that Stan and Josh do. Stan and Josh, for all intents and purposes, they care about the Rams. That stadium, I've never been there, but I've seen that stadium. I've seen pictures, and I'm pretty sure you have as well. That Rams stadium, state of the art, that thing is beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's a moneymaker. They want to have the Super Bowls there. They want to have the World Cup finals there. They want to have everything there. That stadium and the Rams are their number one priority. They won with the Nuggets, but I mean, the NBA money compared to the NFL money, bro, not even close. So, yeah, them dudes care about the stadium. And Arsenal money compared to NFL money? Nah, man. We're just a side thing, bro. We're a side project. We're Josh's hobby. That's what it is, and that's fine. That's unless you get Saudi owners, unless you get guys like Abramovich who actually care about football. That's what it's gonna be. So it's what we got. Ginger Boy says, "Keep up the good work, G. Proud of you. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. I like those messages. I mean, I just sit here and waffle about Arsenal, but." Yeah, anybody who actually likes to sit and watch it, appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, that as far as our season, I'm happy with today. Yeah, I'm wrapping up, so I'm happy with today. I'm over the moon, man, because I love beating Tottenham. There's nothing. Is there anything I like more than beating Tottenham? You know what's crazy? I actually like beating Man United more than I like beating Tottenham. And that's because I have a lot more United mates than I have Tottenham mates. That's like City. When people are like, oh, when City beat you, are you sad when City beat you? I'm sad because we lost, but I ain't got no City friends. I don't know a single person that in my circle that supports City. So when we lose to them, it's just kind of, what's crazy? When we lose to them, it's the Man United fans who are giving me everything. Like, yeah, United. I love beating United, and bro, Godfrey, when I tell you the verbal and message abuse that I got, because I went to that match, I went to the United match, and I promise you, Godfrey, as soon as the final whistle blew, my phone was. I thought that my phone was having a seizure. I thought it was short circuiting. That thing was, and there's only like 3 of them. There was memes, gifs, there was everything. So yeah, when it comes to Tottenham, like if we had lost to Tottenham tonight, I probably have a couple people, at work. But United, bruh, we lose to United. And if we lose if we don't win a big trophy, we don't win the Champions League, if we don't win bro, I'm turning my phone off. I see. I got American number and the UK number. I'm turning the US number off. Right, the UK number, I might get one or two. I can't get abused from two different countries. I can't do it. Nah, I can't do that. So, and then I got Liverpool dude I see on the buses. Nah, I don't want that. I want none of that. So, yeah, when it comes to who we beating, I always want to beat United. Losing to Tottenham sucks, but I don't get nearly as much abuse when we lose to United. So, Ginger Boy says, "What do you think of Arteta?" If you're new here, I'm just gonna keep it simple. With Arteta, my motto for Arteta this year is UCL, EPL, or leave PL. Right? Champions League, Prem, or leave. That's it. That's what I think of Arteta. I think that Arteta has done a great job into giving us stability, getting us into a position where we are competing, where we are, I wouldn't say feared, but where people know that they're going to have a tough time playing us. But like Brendan Rodgers, if you can't get over the line, bring me someone that can. That's it. Rank the Big Six fan bases from worst to the best. Ooh, you guys aren't gonna like my answer with this. If we're doing Big Six, worst to best. I would say Tottenham. Tottenham are number 6. I would put Arsenal number 5. And it's crazy that I'm saying that. But I'll explain in a minute. 4 would be Chelsea. 4 would be Chelsea. Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. United will be 3. City will be 2. I think Liverpool has the best fan base as far as an overall fan base. And I put Arsenal low because I think Arsenal fans talk the most trash without actually backing it up. And I think maybe because I am an Arsenal fan, I take it back. I put Arsenal 3. I think we're mid. But as far as how I'm feeling at the moment, I put our fan base lower because I think that our fan base allows mediocrity, and that's why I don't rate them. I think our fan base allows mediocrity, and that's why I would put us 5. Because I think as far as our standards as a fan base, I think they've slipped. Because I can't imagine where during the Thierry Henry, the George Graham, Arsene Wenger days, where you would accept not winning trophies and coming in second and calling it a day. I don't think Arsenal was ever happy losing to United. I think that when we lost to United, the team knew, all right, we can't lose it again. I mean, we took titles off a United team that was basically the City of their era. How many have we taken off a City? 0. But fans walk around and say, we got the best squad in Europe. We got the best manager in Europe. How? We haven't won anything. So that's why I rank our fan base low. I think people talk a big game when we haven't proven it. And I put Liverpool first. One, because I think Liverpool are a very emotional club. And Liverpool fans, for the most part of the Big Six, most of them, they're a very, the whole Hillsborough thing and how they come together for their community and stuff. as a fan base. I think Liverpool fans, they do take the mick, but for the most part, they're unproblematic. City fans, I only put them up there because there's not many of them. But even if there are not many of them, if you know anything about Man City history, they were a nothing club. Not a nothing club, but they were lower tier club, bro. They've been in the League One. Like, they've been in the championship. So to come from that and to win 4 out of 5, like true City fans, yeah. Who do I put 3? United fans. Hmm. I say United fans are a little bit better than Chelsea fans because United fans are winners, and I know a lot of them. Um, I probably switch it. Ooh, I don't really like Chelsea fans. I feel like Chelsea fans are a little bit pompous, um, because of the whole money thing. I don't really like Chelsea fans. I prefer United fans over Chelsea fans, and that's saying a lot because United fans get on my nerves. Um, but yeah, I I just think Chelsea fans, to me, and it's kind of crazy because you put Chelsea fans are very similar to City fans, but I don't know, man. I just feel like Manchester is a little bit more blue collar than Chelsea when it comes to their fans. I think Chelsea fans can. I feel like Chelsea fans all live in big houses and are nice. Like, I just feel like that. And yeah, I got Arsenal fifth and Tottenham sixth, and that might result in me losing some subscribers. But our fan base annoys me, to be honest, at times. And the whole Arteta in and Arteta out. It's weird. It's weird at points. I have people telling me, when we lost, when we drew the last game, I got people coming in telling me, "Oh, I bet you're happy because Arteta blew the game." What? I'm happy because we. I keep saying lost because that's what it felt like. It felt like a loss. I mean, we played the worst team in the Prem. We drew to them. That's a loss to me. So, and it's like the first time in Prem history that the first team has blown a 2-goal lead to the worst team. So, yeah, I'm not. But you got fans saying, "Oh, you want Arteta out." No, I want Arsenal to win. I don't care about Arteta. Like, I don't dream about Arteta. Arteta doesn't, he doesn't move the gauge either way. I care about Arsenal. So, yeah, man, like right now, I would put Arsenal fans fourth. I put them ahead of Chelsea. I just don't like Chelsea fans. I'm not a fan of Chelsea fans. I don't know why. I don't like Chelsea fans. I don't like Spurs fans. So I put Arsenal fourth. But I would put United above us because they protested and tried to take back their club. We're just okay with mediocrity. We got Wenger out, but allow us to not compete for 3 years, and everybody's singing "Kumbaya" and saying everything's great. Now, your question, Ginger Boy, if you're talking about the people, if you're talking about the ethos of the club, then Arsenal will be first for me. But if you're talking about the fan base as like the noise, yeah, they're near the bottom. They're mid tier for me. I know a lot of great Arsenal fans. I know a lot of good Arsenal fans, but I mean, I know a lot of older Arsenal fans who are old. You're talking about George Graham and comparing, Arteta to George Graham. The guys had £1 billion and 7 years of support, and we've only won one FA Cup. I think it's so insulting to compare him to any of our legendary managers. He hasn't won anything. George Graham won. Arsene Wenger won. This guy hasn't won anything. So that's what annoys me. So good question. But yeah, as far as clubs, if you were asking me to rank the clubs from worst to best, Tottenham be last, United, Chelsea, United, Chelsea. No. Tottenham, Chelsea, United, City, Liverpool, then us. That's my opinion. Godfrey said United up there as well because of friends. I have more United mates. Yeah, I got more United friends. It's weird, man, because I'm from Florida, from Miami. So yeah, like a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Caribbean people, they love Man United, and that's probably why I didn't like them. Because I've never been a bandwagon, which is why I like the Dolphins. If I was a bandwagon, I'd be a Patriots fan or a Seattle fan, but I've never been a bandwagon. I like the underdogs, which is kind of why I chose Arsenal, because at the time they were the banter club, and Alexis Sanchez was amazing to watch, man. Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil, amazing to watch. But I've never been a glory hunter, so it was never going to be United. It was never going to be City. It was never going to be Liverpool or Chelsea. It was going to be Arsenal, and that's what it was. So, yep, closing on that note, because it's almost 10 o'clock. Just got a message from my Arsenal friend, and he said he can't remember a time we've actually beaten Tottenham so convincingly. And I'll end on that. I'll end on kind of going, circle back to the match. And we did beat them convincingly over 2 legs. But with me, I always want to look at them and look at us and be kind of fair. Tottenham are crap. They're not good. This isn't the great Tottenham, And yes, it's the North London derby. Anything can happen. Tottenham they're not good. They played open, which it's like teams don't watch Arsenal, which is crazy. Anyone who plays us knows that if you play open, if you leave space, we're gonna exploit you. We're gonna beat you. If you play the low block, you close the space. It's a tough day. Tottenham with injuries decided they were just gonna try to come play, and we put them to the sword. Also, Eberechi Eze, that guy, I think he's trolling at this point. I think Eze is trolling at this point. Imagine Tottenham calling for you. Hey, bro, you want to come to Tottenham? And you're like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I do. And then you get on the phone. Hey, Mikel, bro, you sure you don't want me? You sure you don't want me at Arsenal, please? And then we go get him. And now Tottenham's like, oh, bro, that bum, he went over there to that lot. And then North London Derby scores a hat trick at home. You like, I can't stand this dude. And then he's come to your backyard. You could have signed him, scored a brace, doing the whole celebration on you. Smiling, bro. I know Tottenham fans are fuming. And that will keep me warm tonight. Godfrey said there's a reason why they're in a relegation scrap. Yes, they're not good. But that being said, Godfrey, it's crazy because we just played Wolves and we couldn't beat them. But we played another team near the bottom and we smacked them. And I think Wolves played better than Tottenham, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I think what kind of got us over the line in this match was the fact that they were our rivals. They're our rivals. We'll go for them. It's a big game. So we'll put on a show. Can we do that next week? If we do that next week, if we go to Brighton and we bop them off the park, I'll believe. I'll be back in the believe camp. Into 2025, my foot was almost on the platform. And I'll end with this. My foot was almost on the train. I was almost on the hype stream. I was almost there. And then January happened, and now we're here. And I'm standing on the platform waiting for the Arsenal train to move. I just want us to win. If you told me right now at this moment, you'll lose every game in the Champions League, You lose the Carabao Cup final. You lose the next round of the FA Cup, but you win the Prem. Give it to me right now. You get knocked out of Champions, don't care. Get knocked out of FA Cup, don't care. You get panned in the final by 6 goals, don't care. If we win the Prem, I don't care about anything else that happens. I just want to win the Prem. That's all I want for this team. I just want to win the Prem. So on that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Godfrey, Ginger Boy, AJ. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming, AJ. Who else popped in? Stony. All right. Well, I think my wife popped in earlier. Jasmine popped in. Thank you for the comment. Anyone who liked the stream, anyone who subscribed, Cooper, thank you for coming in, for your time as well. What's coming up? I'll leave with what's coming up. I am going to do a Waffle House on Tuesday night, I believe. So join me for the Waffle House. That's my general show where I talk about any and everything. I will cover the whole Vinicius stuff on there. I'll cover some of the stuff that's happening in American football. I'll cover some of the stuff that's happening in actual football. And then I'll just round it out with just talking to you guys. Because that's what I like the Waffle House. It's an opportunity for me to talk to you guys about anything and everything. And build a community. It's like a member stream without being a member stream. So, as always, take it easy. Have a good night. See you on Tuesday. Like, share, subscribe. And as always, come on, you Gunners.